Is your chainsaw cutting on the wonk like mine is? Is it not cutting straight? Is it cutting in a curve? Is it cutting like a curve of a banana? Let's go and find out why. So why does my chainsaw cut on a curve? Why does your chainsaw cut on a curve? Well, that's the question we're going to answer today and show you what's going wrong and why it's doing it. Because we all know we get a nice brand new chain and bar, fit it all onto our chainsaw, and it cuts dead straight. It cuts perfectly. You think, yes, I never want this edge to fall off this chain, so that it just cuts as true can be forever. It's not quite as simple as that. So what happens? Why do we get to a stage where our chainsaw starts cutting bananas and curves and round corners and all those fantastic ways of cutting wood? So we're Hayes Machinery. This is our YouTube channel. Please consider subscribing. Let's crack on. So it all starts when you first sharpen your chain. Yes, your chain gets blunt. It needs sharpening, it needs a little bit of a touch up. It's not going through the wood like it was. So you decide to sharpen it. And sharpening is a fine art. It is an expert thing to do, and only a handful of people around the world, right, in your county can probably do it properly. And there's lots of machines and lots of tools and lots of gadgets you can get to help you sharpen a chain. Some of them are absolutely excellent, but we'll save that for another video. But today I'm going to sharpen this chain badly to show you what happens when it doesn't quite go to plan. Sharpen it badly? Am I supposed to do that? Well, I suppose at least I can't get it wrong. Let's pop it in the vise and go from there. So what happens when you pop your chainsaw in the vise and start filing? Well, you've got a lead arm, so when you come into hand file, I'm just using it just a bare file just so it's easier to see, and you know, like I said, there's lots of different ways and means of sharpening a chain, and I'm going to be doing this wrong. But you'll come in, and this is your lead arm. So here, when you come in to sharpen this side of the saw, what you'll find, you'll push that through there 3 or 4 times, 3 or 4 strokes all the way through to get that tooth sharp. And that's nice and easy because you've got a nice lead here, nothing's in the way, and it's pretty simple. So that side of the chain will normally sharpen really, really well, which, well, it's that side of the chain, so you're sharpening on that side. Or if you're left-handed, you might find that it's easier the other way. But for right-handed people doing it this way, that's the easier edge to do. So when you flip the saw around and got it in the vise the other way, what you'll find is that you're a little bit more hampered of how you're sharpening the chain. So as you come in through, your arm's more like this, and you're there sharpening through like that. So you haven't got that nice leading stroke like you do on the other side. So with this one, you're there doing through. So you do, say, 4 strokes on one side and 4 on the other, or 3 on one side, 3 on the other, or 5 on one side, 5 on the other. Some people will sharpen the chain. So you do 3 on one side and 4 on the other to allow for that. When you're professional, when you've got a bit more experience in sharpening a chain, you soon work that out. With a chain which is sharper on one side than it is the other, or even if the tooth's longer on one side than it is the other, what you'll get is a draw on the chain. Let me show you. So what happens once you sharpen a chain sharper on one side than you do the other? What you'll get is, as you're cutting down through the wood, the chain will be pulling on one side. It's trying to go down through the wood faster on one side than it is the other. And hence with that, you'll then get the curve coming down through the piece of wood. Over time, that will then wear into the bar. So I'll pop this chain off here. And so if it's the same person sharpening it all the time, it'll happen even quicker. So what you'll find on here is that down on the rails on each side of the bar, one side of the bar will start to wear quicker than the other. You'll get uneven wear on the bar on one side, thus allowing the chain to sit uneven on the top of the rails. And then if you get an uneven chain that side and an uneven chain that side, you're creating a natural curve for that bar and chain to go down through your wood. So you start nice and straight, and it gradually peters off to the left or right, depending on how you sharpened your chain. And that's exactly why it's happening. Depending on your bar age and quality, you should be able to grind these down flat or file them down flat so that you can run a nice new chain on it. But if you buy a new chain and put it on a bad bar, your new chain will wear out a lot quicker and you won't get away from creating that curve. So the best thing to do is, if you're a novice, probably just change the bar and chain and start again, start afresh. And they're available to buy on our website, hayesmachinery.co.uk. You want to sort of service your bar so you can get burrs. You'll get a burr along the edge of your bar up through here, so you can file off the burrs. And then if you look down through the bar, you'll be able to see whether one rail is higher than the other. So you've got a diagram there up in the left-hand corner just showing you that, how that works, where you've got a rail which is lower on one side than the other, and what you want to do is file them flat so they're flat on both top. You use a square. You use a square to get that straight, so you can put the square on the side and see how square it is along the top of your bar there. So that's why it's happening. That's why it's cutting in a curve. So other than good sharpening and maintenance on a chain, there's also other reasons why it might cut more one-sided than the other. One is the rakers. As you'll see in other videos, when you sharpen a chain, you take the rakers down gradually as you're sharpening the chain. So every time you sharpen, you take the rakers down a little bit more. What you'll find if you don't file your rakers down at the same rate as your tooth, what you'll get is that your rakers are trying to cut the wood rather than the teeth. So what you do is just feel yourself almost trying to push down on the timber, which you shouldn't do, trying to get the teeth to bite into the timber. But if you file the rakers down, then your teeth will be able to touch the timber. If you're filing the rakers down more on one side than the other, again, that will cause your chainsaw to cut on one side. So another example of why you'll be cutting on a curve with your chainsaw is that you've hit something. You've hit a nail or a stone or something else unexpected in that timber. So you're going down through the timber, there's a nail in it, it's caught all the teeth on your left-hand teeth rather than on your right-hand teeth. So your right-hand teeth look absolutely fine, clean as a whistle, sharp as a pin. But on the other side, they've all gone rounded. So if you look here, you'll see that this here has hit a stone or been trying to cut there. So what you've done is it's actually caught the top of the teeth all the way through on this chain. So all the way through on there is done on both sides. But sometimes you'll find it'll only do one side. What some people try to do is just sharpen one side of the chain to try and relieve that. What you're then getting is awkward sized teeth. So you've got one tooth, one side, one length, and the other side are short teeth. So you're getting uneven teeth all the way through your chain. Again, with more material on one side of the chain and less on the other, you'll find that your chainsaw again will cut on one side. So it's all down to good maintenance and good sharpening of your chainsaw. Let's sharpen this chain badly and try and replicate that to show you what I'm on about. So as you can see here, I'm just sharpening on one side of the chain. I'm doing it badly. I'm trying not to do it very well at all, but it's difficult. It's difficult. Right, gone all the way around on that side. All done. There we go. Perfect. Let's go and see what it cuts like. See if I can actually cut a curve for a start, or whether I've done it too well. Let's go. So as you can see from that, the chainsaw is cutting on a curve. I've replicated it pretty well, but sometimes, depending on the wear of the chain and bar, that'll even be even worse. So you come down in a proper curve, like a banana. But that one there, I don't know if you can see that, but as you can see, I've come down through and it's just veered off to the left, which means obviously the chain is sharper on one side than the other, and over time it has worn the bar on one side so that it's cutting in that curve. By putting on a fresh chain will be okay for a start with. It might jam and crack a little bit as you're cutting down through, but it would be nice to think, oh yeah, this is cutting perfectly again, but in a short time you'll find that that chain will also again start to wear and will start cutting on the curve. So that is a case you need to file down the top of that bar or replace the bar, get it all level, get it all square, get it perfectly working. That's the best advice I can give you. Hopefully that explains why you're cutting on the wonk. And anyway, we're Hayes Machinery, this is our YouTube channel. Please consider subscribing. Have fun logging. So the good news is that all of these chains and bars for Husqvarna and Stihl and many other brands as well is available to buy on our website, hayesmachinery.co.uk. We've got it all listed out on there, so it's fairly simple, but if you've got any questions or queries, please don't hesitate to give us a call or ping us an email and we can help you out making sure that you get the right chain and bar for your chainsaw.